Hello everyone, this is Matt Adventures, and today I'm going to show you how to make an OS. So this is the first tutorial, and I'm going to teach you how to make the bootloader. So for you young viewers or people that don't know what a bootloader is, it's the startup screen when your computer is starting up. So in this video, I'm not going to make it look as fancy as it is in my Computer Speaks project. You should check it out, by the way. I'll try to leave a link in the description below. So it's not going to look beautiful, but it's going to be good enough for you to love and make. AKA love making it. So, first you gotta get rid of the scratch cat, of course. And you gotta make two different backgrounds. So this is the first one, and that will be the second one. You could mess around with the background however you want. I'm just going to customize my background. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Now I have customized the startup background and the OS. So, let's call this startup. You can call it whatever you want. And I'm going to call this the OS. So now we have the startup and the OS. And now we gotta make it start at startup. So when green flag clicked, then it will switch backdrop to startup. If you don't know what that command does, it'll make the project start with this background instead of just choosing the background that you leave it on. So now, let's begin the bootloader. If you want, you could give it a title, or you could just make a loading screen. I'm gonna name mine Fire OS. Actually, no. Flame OS. I wouldn't really recommend naming it. I'm just naming it that way because I'm just showing a tutorial. It's not really a real OS. But if you were to make it fancy, I recommend that you use the vector map, because it'll have more cleaner cuts and everything. Oops. I'll show you an example. So once you type in this, Flame OS, you could type in whatever title, by the way. You can do whatever you want. Just gonna make this a bit bigger. You know what, that's fine enough. Okay, let's just put it in the center. Now, this is just the title. But the problem is that it still could show inside the OS backdrop. So when background switches to OS, then this is gonna hide. But when backdrop switches to startup, it'll show. So basically what it's doing is that it won't show up in the OS. It'll only show up in startup. So once it goes into OS, it'll hide. Now, for the boot up. I'm not going to make it look fancy, but I'll try. So, let's just begin with 3 dots. 3 simple dots. So, in the center is a grayish dot, and it'll look something like this. Okay, so now we have a 1 dot down. We have 2 more to go. And now we have the white dot. Put it right there. Okay, so now we have the loading thing. Now we have to make an animation of it. This is just if you want to make a fancy looking OS. Okay. Then okay, I'll be right back. So now we have our 3 different customs. This will be important for our animation. We also got to do the same thing, which means when it switches to OS, it'll hide. And when it goes into startup, it'll show. So now we have this. Now we need to make a variable just to make it work. I'm going to call it loading. You could call it however you want. There's no specific variables that you have to name it to. So when green flag clicked, this variable will be set to 0. And then it'll repeat 100 times. Wait 0.1 secs. And change loading by 1. Then we're going to do if loading equals 100. Then we're going to switch the no, not custom. Backdrop. Okay, there it is. Switch backdrop to OS. So what it's going to do is that it's going to start off the variable with 0. Then it's going to repeat 100 times. That it's going to wait 0.1 seconds. And it's going to start changing by 1. Then when loading is 100, it'll switch to backdrop OS. So now let's test it. So right now, as you can see, you don't see the variable. It's loading. I could show you proof. It's actually doing it. So it's still loading. And voila, it switches to this background. Okay, so as you saw, this wasn't really moving at all because we haven't added a command for the animation yet. So we're going to add another when green flag clicked. We're going to put in forever, just in case if you want to restart your OS. Actually, wait. Switch custom to custom 1 first. Then, forever, switch to next custom. So now, let's see what it does. Oh, whoa, okay, that's a bit too fast. Oh yeah, I forgot to add wait seconds, sorry. Okay, so also do 0.1 secs. And now, see the animation. So as you can see, it looks all loading and stuff. And soon it'll switch to the next background. So yeah, it's basically how you make the bootloader. Next time, I might be showing you how to make a login system for your OS. Thanks for watching, and I hope this taught you something.